Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Should I start?
Please. Yeah.
So, once upon a time, I broke my hand and needed a very complex surgery, which was not accessible in Georgia. So me, my friends, and my family started seeking for medical alternatives in different countries, from Turkey to Germany, but could not find anything that could potentially handle my hand in a very short period of time. The problem was the maze of bureaucratic and legal issues, which is really hard to explore by yourself and need at least 3 months just to search and prepare for medical tourism. So we said that it's time to change everything, and what we did is to reduce the time of service receiving, searching from 72 hours to 3 hours and preparing just 2-3 weeks. And all services in one single packages. So you don't have to pay for everything separately. You can just buy our package and get on a boat. So we connect, we plan, and we organize everything. This is the benefits that we give to our customers. Our total market size is huge because it's a medical tourism, which is rapidly growing. But we are mostly targeted to IVF, dentistry, and plastic surgeries from countries such as post-Soviet as well as Middle Eastern countries. And we have already launched our 3-month trial. You can call it MVP. Just in 2 services, which is dentistry and plastic surgery, and we generated more than 20K in just 3 months. This is our numbers and our prediction. We predict to generate more than 200 millions in a 5th year by penetrating the most hotspots of medical tourism in Europe. And how are we going to do this? We have already partnered with more than 50 companies and organizations in 3 different countries, Georgia, Israel, and Cyprus, as well as translators, because we saw that translators are the best lead which can generate a customer base for us. This is our team. We have 12 members. We are coachable, young and motivated, with experiences from marketing and PR to medical services, customer services, hospitality, and technology. And what we need? We need $60,000 to use it for marketing purposes, as well as develop and implement our AI to make everything as smooth and efficient as possible, and expand in Cyprus and Israel markets by finding new exclusive partnerships. Thanks.
Okay.
Any questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the medical experience in your team?
Okay, yeah, sure. Let me. So, first of all, we have Lemonguel Essiani, who has 4 years in medical and medical tech field, as well as we have a board of advisors with leading Georgian doctors from companies such as LeaderMed, which is the first company in IVF in Georgia, as well as Dentex, the biggest dental clinics in Georgia. So yeah, this is the experience we have right now from advisors and from our medical manager.
The reason I'm saying is because, you know, the 3 categories you mentioned, dentistry, IVF, and plastic surgery, are very, very personal services, and they could, there are chances of stuff going wrong in all those services. We know that. So it's very important to have the experience to pick the right service providers. Could you also talk a little bit about the competition, if there's any competition in the space?
Of course, in the medical tourism, there is a huge competition, direct and indirect, of course. So our direct competitors are, for example, GoTurkey, which is the biggest facilitator company. But our advantage is that they just offer and suggest medical and tourism alternatives. So they don't handle legal issues, as well as assistance in visa services and so on. So we are doing this by partnering with different organizations, as I mentioned, as well as we do the accommodation part. We are working with the biggest Airbnb management company right now, which is WeHost, ex-Jita startup. So our advantages are the partners we have, the data we gather from our partners, and efficiency that we can generate to our customers.
And can you walk us through the customer side as well as acquiring the practitioners? So like you're building the marketplace,
Yes.
right, with all the service providers, and then you're acquiring these customers. Can you walk us both sides a little bit?
Okay, yeah. I will talk in a field of go-to-market strategy. For our customers, here is our customer acquisition cost. We use different platforms to talk with our customers. As I mentioned, we use personal translators because from our partners, we know that personal translators are one of the best way to communicate and find the potential customers outside the countries. As well as we own 3 biggest Facebook groups in medical tourism right now. We have our own forum and our own blog with healthcity.com. You can read about ad and medical services we offer them. And we are mostly focused on SEO, so search engine optimization. And for the organizations, we are working with organizations who has the highest quality, and we know that they are that they have that quality we need by reviewing their data as well as reviewing the feedbacks from potential not potential but past customers of their services.
Can you double click on that part, because I think that's very critical on how you're picking the medical, like the service
medical
providers.
organizations? Yes.
Yeah. Like how are you actually finding the quality? And then
by the way, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
The supply side, right? So
Yeah.
this is basically a marketplace.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with this market. Can you tell me a little bit, like, so I see where your customers are coming from. What does the supply side look like? Which countries? What type of clinics? How are you actually like selecting them and curating them?
Yeah, right now I'm hearing
and
more
making sure
about
the
like
quality.
other services. That's not the most important thing. Most important because, you know, when somebody's hurt, like number one goal is like to get it right?
Yeah.
So you're focusing more about Airbnbs and, you know, travels. No, it's like, that's what matters.
Yes. Okay. For the medical organizations and quality, we are looking, as I mentioned, we are looking for their data. For the IVF, we are working, as I mentioned, with the leading organization, LeaderMed, which has more than 90% of successful operations, which is the highest number in the region for IVFs, because it's really hard.
Geographically, where is that organization?
This organization is in Georgia.
Okay, it's in Georgia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so it's in Georgia, as well as we use, for example, data from, you may know, HealthBase or HealthBridge, which collect the data from different patients and different experts and generate the quality ranking for different countries, for different organizations. So,
how does your revenue stream work? So you had the 3.5 million next year. How's your margin? I mean.
So yeah, we are.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we add the pack. So we gather every services in one single packages and add the surcharge for the package, which is right now at 12%, just 12%, which is one of the lowest fee in facilitating business, and the customer pays that 12%. Right now, we are not charging organizations because we want to have as many organizations as possible.
So you charge on top for the management of it. Okay.
Yes.
So this is how it works. I want to go to Cyprus, and I want to go to a dentist, probably because it's cheaper in Cyprus than Spain or the US or everything, or the same as that's what's happening in Turkey with a lot of services. Mm-hmm. You'll pretty much sort out all the paperwork, probably choose the best dentists, and give a sort of quality guarantee for around 10% on top of that for organizing. And you can also help them with Airbnbs and everything else.
From SIM card providing to translators to...
So you give them a turnkey solution for something people are looking for anyway, because you give them a turnkey solution, everything.
Yes, end-to-end solution.
For things people are looking for anyway, because the price difference of that type of service is huge, right?
Price and time difference.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason you go to a dentist in Cyprus
it's price.
I mean...
Obviously, it's price.
Okay. So there must be somebody doing something like this in Turkey, which is probably one of the largest markets for this type of service in the world.
Yes.
How are they doing?
Right now,
Because I see Turkey's not on your roadmap, no?
Yeah,
Oh, it is?
it is.
Okay, sorry.
wait, let me, yeah.
Okay.
In
But
2020.
is there anyone doing this in Turkey?
The biggest one is the Go Turkey, as I mentioned,
Okay.
but they don't offer anything like us. They just suggest and offer medical services.
Okay, procurement for...
Yeah, nothing
Best way.
paperwork or something like that.
So they're just doing lead gen. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Lead generation.
yes.
So I guess I'm trying to understand this marketplace where right now you're serving Georgian, basically like Georgian customers going to somewhere else. Is that right? Or do I have that wrong?
No.
That's because I'm missing something.
No.
By the way, also, one comment on that they don't offer services. I think the key thing here is the quality of service. The services layer is very easy to add for anybody. So I don't think that's a big differentiation in the business. Like as Zaza mentioned, the key thing is how are the customers getting the service and how quality it is? Because otherwise
Yes.
your business fails, right?
Yes. For example, in Turkey, we are already contacting with Acibadem, which is the biggest organization for medical tourism. Go Turkey also has this organization. So we both have the same organizations, but our advantage is that we can do everything with that organization too. So with medical services, we can do other things that Go Turkey can't right now. So we have the same organizations right now.
Well, you're packaging it a little bit differently, right? We understand that part. I'm trying to understand sort of like the marketplace piece, right? So, for me, where it's like, okay, you're packaging, where it's like, okay, great, we have the same providers, but like we're packaging sort of like all these other things. I totally get that. I just want to understand sort of like why you pick like dentistry, very, very specific, IVF, very, very specific, and plastic surgery?
Yes, plastic surgery. So we chose these three fields just for now because they have the most demand for medical tourism, dentistry. In some countries, like in Middle East, it's really expensive, like really, really expensive. But for example, in Georgia and Cyprus, and as well as in Israel, it's relatively cheap.
Yeah, and they're high ticket items. So
Yes, and for the IVF is mostly unavailable and inaccessible in different countries. For example, in Middle Eastern, it's kind of illegal too. But for Georgia and for example in Israel, it's not the case.
Can you talk a little bit about the traction, the 21,800 that you said in 3 months? Is that a GMV number or is that the money you made? That's the 12% or is that the GMV?
No, it's GMV right now.
So
the 12% is our gross profit, or profits from.
So this isn't revenue, this is sales.
This is sales, yeah.
Yep.
And what service is that 21,800 from? Because, technically one service could cost 21,800.
Yes.
So
Dentistry
It's in dentistry and plastic surgery right now.
just one each. Or 11 customers and 3 customers.
11
Okay,
customers and 3 customers.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So, just finally, I absolutely agree with it. This will work if it's a super elite service in the sense that, I'll give you an example with in Europe. In Europe, it's typical that if you have your hair implants, the joke amongst friends is, "Oh, you just went to Turkey."
Yeah.
Right? Because literally, it's
It's everywhere.
no, you just come back from Turkey.
We've been to the airport, right?
Many do.
It is.
Many do it in Spain,
Yeah.
but it costs 5 times as much. So you literally save 4,000 or 5,000 euros, right? So
More
it's-
than 400.
Well, you know better than me. But I think that normally works word of mouth, or you do your online check. But if you do an elite service with guarantees, if you have the best, which is I think what my colleagues here were referring to, and a guaranteed service in turnkey, then this could work.
Can I add about the guarantee?
Yeah.
So our packages also contains Connect guarantee, which means that you pay extra for the guarantee packages, for the IVF, which is really important. For example, you need to guarantee package to get what you actually need, because one visit is not enough, for example, and you may need more than you planned.
Yep.
So we have guarantee packages, as well as we have packages, guarantees from our partners.
Yeah.
This is something you guys guaranteeing or the
Both
clinics?
sides guarantee. We guarantee on accommodation, traveling, and legal issues, but the clinics guarantee on by partnering us.
I meant guaranteed more as well as the elite group of service providers, the top ones who.
Yes.
So you sort of curate that, Because
Yes,
people
so-
are willing to pay a service and want that, and then the quality is going to give you a guarantee. So these are people who can, you know, instead of saving 6,000 euros or 10,000, well, they'd rather save 9,000 and spend with you guys 1,000 for the guarantee. Instead of going wide, because I don't know, the long tail time of customers who's really looking to save money will generally curate it themselves and do a lot of research and spend that time.
Yeah, that's what I feel, that a customer in these kind of services would know exactly the medical provider they want to use.
Yeah,
because,
word of mouth. Or
yeah, exactly, because it's such, you know, you don't want to screw up any of these services. So it's hard to imagine a marketplace, but, you know,
unless it's super elite.
yeah, unless it's super elite.
And you know you guys are the best, and that you.
So the services really don't matter as much as the
partners.
yeah,
What you said in the beginning. Yeah.
the partnership and the eliteness of picking.
And I think that also comes like with being there, right?
Yeah.
So that way you really have to. Acıbadem is like, you know, number one. I mean, I lived in Turkey, so I know they've been, you know, dominating in their field, but they have also so many options inside of Acıbadem, right?
Yeah.
You cannot just say, oh, we partner with Acıbadem. Like, well, who is that right doctor, right?
Yep.
It is about relationships, and you know, you gotta have a confidence, and yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Hey, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye and good luck. I'll take that.
I'm glad you're.
Hello. Can I start?
Hello. Yes.
Hello. Hello. My name is Giga Kvartskov. I represent Biterrium AI. Our team consists of PhD professors, worked at high-ranking universities and well-known companies. So heart-related disorders take the first place only death cases. Only in the United States, every year 600,000, more than 6,100 people died diseases related to cardiovascular valves. So they call it silent killer. 47% of United population, adult population, have such kind of problems, and only 20% of them takes care about their health. It's a very important that it takes time and money to go to doctor and prove every month your health. So our target group, our Biterbium target group, is the people with irregular blood pressure, and we suggest healthcare nursing, which collects and tracks daily information, predicts the risks of healthcare problems, and gives you evidence-based recommendations how to stay healthy and how to avoid disorders related to health diseases. Also, avoid unnecessary healthcare appointments to doctor, and so save your time and money. We have our early adopters, about 70% of them improve their health, and we are happy because of this. Of course, we have competitors on the global market. I would like to highlight AMD and Omron. Both of them have mobile application, but nobody has conversational nurse and daily recommendation based on continuous time series data. We are working with our competitors. AMD just opened integrated channel for us, and our strategy is to work with them, and we think that their consumers in future are our potential consumers as well. Also, we launched beta release 2 months ago. Right now, we have 500 users. We are working with RD Insurance Group, Emory University, American Hospital, to test Biterbium AI among patients and get clinical results, clinical trials for them. Also, we are working with CloudWiser, AWS, and FDA to expand the United States. And in future, we are going to work with other companies as well. So here is growth of operational incomes, but potential of along others. Potential Biterbium is also, it's a Biterbium AI. There is shortage of doctors and increasing trend of home care also in United States. It's a shortly. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Can you walk us through the app a little bit on how you actually measure the blood pressure? Then we'd love to figure out how you came up with the 96% accuracy versus other players. So how do you measure your accuracy?
So, so to measure our accuracy, we have 3 sources. It's a doctoral sources, which we have from doctors, because in our team we have doctors and there are guidelines. Also, we can compare our results with other producers' results, and also there are also feedback from our patients as well. So accuracy is quite big in our cases, and I think that is one of the best.
So that's based on how many? The 96% accuracy is obviously based on just the beta users, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So it's a small sample size, but could you explain how the app works? So how do you measure your blood pressure? So we download the app.
Right now, so it's 2 different stories. Right now, consumer should measure pressure himself and just put these data only on application. But in future, we are going to connect hardware to software, and it immediately gives this data to soft.
So the consumer has to put in their own blood pressure in the app to get the recommendations, basically.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question about the demographic that you're going after? Because I know this is a problem, but like a lot of healthcare stuff where it's just like most people know they should be doing these things, but they don't. And so, how big of a problem? Like by understanding the demographic, how big of a problem, and what sort of is the trigger for them to go and say, oh, wow, I really need to track my blood pressure? I just want to understand.
If I correctly understand your questions, the main problem, that it's 47% of adult Americans have such kind of problems. Yeah. Only 20% takes care.
I didn't even think it's that high. I don't think it's that high. Anyways, yes, continue.
It's not my. So only 20% of them takes permanent care about it. So it means that it's quite big amount of people who don't care about it. There are many reasons, there is no symptoms, so because of that maybe, but also some other issues. And I think that our product will be widely used among people who would like to take care with.
So you're focusing on this 24% that want to. Is that right?
Also, at least for 20%, it will be useful because that ordinary people with such kind of problems, they go to at least 24%. They visiting doctors, but it helps also. This application will help also doctors to know what happens during months, what kind of changes.
I understand. I mean, let me ask this question much more directly. Do you think that people actually understand this is a problem? Because if they don't understand it's a problem, they're not going to use your app, right? So I'm trying to figure out how you actually are going to be able to target the folks who.
Yes. Also, we are going to go on target group with our companies who produce such devices. For example, Omron and AD. After with insurance companies, because they also are interesting. We already have negotiations some of them, and they also are interesting too much to bring this innovation to the patients, because it's very useful also for them to avoid unnecessary appointments to doctors.
I agree with you there, because the hardest part here is customer acquisition and acquiring these customers for themselves to put in the blood pressure to see the results. I think what you should be building is something you could actually sell B2B to all these companies, which will be enabled by AI and give them recommendations. So it's the front, let's say it's the front end. Omron has all these machines, right, that they sell.
Yes.
So if Omron sells those machines and they have an app tied to it, and all the information, and maybe they're not good at building an application and they're not good at building and coming up with recommendations, you're the ones providing it, but then you don't focus on B2C because you're going to be so distracted. There's no way you're going to be doing B2B and B2C. B2C is so hard to acquire customers. You need to focus between these two are independent businesses. You cannot do both businesses.
Absolutely.
So either you do B2B or you do B2C. Right. B2C is a really, really hard business from what you're doing, because the world is moving towards connected devices, and there will be a connected device that will natively do this on the phone, and everything is going to be tied in Apple Fitness or Apple, So I don't think that's a business you want to be in. You want to be in the B2B business where you actually build the best resources and you're selling all that stuff to other providers. So they come to you and they're paying you for that.
Absolutely agree, but it's not final product. So to go to do B2B, we have to build up our final product, we have to pass regulation by FDA, United States market, and after it's possible, yes.
Okay. So I see you have Aura there. I have the ring. And I know how the app works.
Measures blood pressure?
Yeah, but I know how the app works. So basically the front end of the app is often offering me a lot of other services that are not Aura from third parties that are already doing that. Is that how you're going to fit in with this?
You know that, yes, we know that there are some products on the market, but nobody has time series data. And continuously, and also we already part 35 symptoms, ordinary symptoms, human symptoms. So it's nobody also has such kind of symptoms for personal symptoms. I mean, it's just for everybody. So it's
right. So how are you going to work with them on the B2C side? You have the logo there.
Yeah, we are going. It's not now, right now. In 2004, we are going to start negotiating.
And what would you do? What service would you offer them or their customers?
To suggest our product?
Okay, so the same way I'm being suggested services now, you would be there in the marketplace of
Yes.
Okay, and then you have a revenue stream with them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, in essence,
Yeah, I mean, I think the B2C side is a highly competitive space because, you know, as you think about your Apple Watch or Aura or a bunch of other connected devices, they have so many other data points, and you can, you know, do a lot of more stuff than what you'd be able to do on the B2C side, right?
just going back to your service, why is it so superior to any competition out there? Yeah, just can you explain for?
So it should be our service in the end should be like conversational nursing and daily recommendations continuously based only time series data. Nobody has such kind of products, and
I mean the time series
data and
The recommendations.
product recommendations.
But is that working now?
Yes.
It is working now.
Yeah, it's working right now. I just can show you.
So the conversational nurse is AI, I understand. No.
Yes.
AI, it's AI,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, just it's a little case.
Okay.
When a 20-year-old woman has such kind of, I don't know, high temperature and high pulse, and she asked to Bacterium A, what's the problem? This problem was not related to cardiovascular diseases or heart diseases. But anyway, Bacterium A recommended to drink plenty of fluids and contact to doctor. So we have not permission to recommend some drugs or something like it. It should recommend by doctors. But easy health styles, it's possible to recommend it. And if it's somebody wrongs, it's somebody disaster, it recommends some, we have some recommendations before emergency comes.
And where does this data come from? Where do you have all
We
this?
already launched it,
Yeah, but where is it? Do you have a...
in Georgia.
Right, but you've built all this information about all types of symptoms related with this.
Yes.
But I'm sure that competitors must have similar data. I mean, you can't be the only one who has this huge data information on this subject.
Data, yes, maybe they have same data, but in case of, for example, with companies like Omron or A&D, which has only devices, the hard works very hard, we works very good. But in soft, they also have some problems because of this. They started negotiation with us and give us possibility to work with them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Imagine that your child, wife, or your loved ones have eye disease such as misaligned eye or lazy eye, or both at the same time. Once, I was the child. According to the World Health Organization, today more than 150 million people struggle from those diseases, and most of them are children. These diseases can cause double vision, poor depth perception, constant headaches, and permanent vision loss. Global burden of disease is more than 750 million years. I and my co-founder often discussed about how we could solve this puzzle, and we found a gap. And that day, we decided to create a device. Our first device was made by a kettle, and now it was time to test it. We had a friend who had misaligned eyes. We were testing him a lot, changed a lot, and we saw quick changes. Real magic was how fast he was treated. Now we have MVP and 6 volunteers from different age categories who soon showed the positive dynamic. Also, we have validation from ophthalmic surgeons about our device's positive effects. We treat them without the possibility of injuring the healthy eye, treat both at the same time, save time, and make it without pain and stress. We are doing this by 20-minute daily exercise, focusing on 3 main aspects of the problem. Our main customers will be clinics. We are going to partnership with them and reach out for patients. Our main income will be the money received by selling product. Product price is $250, margin $220. Firstly, we are focusing on USA because of the high statistic, FDA, and insurance policy. We are going to make it global, and in next 4 years, we are going to make more than $220 million. As I mentioned, we have MVP, and because of our margin, we want to help people and give our device to a Red Cross organization and put it on Kickstarter with a special offer. Now we are working on a new version which will work on solar panels for the people who live in those countries who does not have constant access to the electricity. Now we are working on Georgian patent. Then we are going to apply for USA patent and FDA approval. Everything this is possible because of us. We are 2 co-founders, me a junior doctor, and Vakhtang, who is software developer, digital marketing specialist, and founder of Agrofly. We already gained fundings from GITA and USAID, and we are going to use 150K, mostly for FDA approval. We are looking for investors, for right connections, and funding. We believe in our value, create your own vision. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let me introduce my co-founder, Vakhtang.
Could you go a little bit back to the patent and then the FDA approval? How complicated is that, and how long it's going to take?
We don't know yet, but our product is non-invasive, and we think that this is first.
It's first category.
First category, yes, in this case.
So how long usually the first category?
For first category is 6 months
up to 1 year.
1 year.
6 to 1. That's the average. That's the normal. That's what you found out.
Yeah. They say
Normal
average
range
time.
for first category.
Because I've heard the FDA is pretty backed up. But until that happens, you obviously cannot sell in the US, right?
Right.
And so I don't know the FDA much, but I understand if it's the first category, it's quite a simple one because it's non-invasive and it's not medicine per se, right? Is that correct?
It's a device. Yeah, it's a device.
Yeah. Okay. Could you go a little bit back to the different solutions for this problem? So I think you type, right? So I understand, I know very little about this, but eye patch is the typical one, right? That they put on kits. And I think the success rate is generally quite high.
Some kind of, not quite high, but we don't have direct competitor. We have indirect competitors, and our main competitor is eye patch. We want to change it because it's firstly stressful, and you should wear it during 2 hours or 6 hours, maybe during all the day. And it's an option for children mostly. And also during this process, you can't do anything, reading, writing, or I don't know, anything. And also, it's not a great alternative for treatment process because when you're doing eye patch, you patch the healthy eye. So there is always a possibility of damaging it. And
okay. And then what does Novasight do exactly?
Novasight is focused on, there are two conditions. One is misaligned eye, and another one is lazy eye. It's focused on only lazy eye, but I will show it exactly what it is. This is eye patch, and this is Novasight. So eye patch was covering the healthy eye. Novasight covers, blurs the healthy eye. So principle is quite similar, and so it's a subscription model, and you're connected with
some kind of line. They are giving you permission to use it.
Okay.
And also there is issue. When you blur healthy eye, it gets weaker. And you have same problem with different eye. The eye you are using to get stronger becomes stronger, but the stronger eye becomes the weaker.
Okay. And then there's a fourth competitor at the end, which I forgot their name, sorry.
Amblyopia.
Yeah, what are they?
This is focused on amblyopia, and this means lazy eye. And it's also a subscription. It's they produce the games, some kind of, for children to make it more comfortable for them. It's game.
Okay.
So my daughter has actual lazy eye, and it's a process of, the wearing the glasses apparently. So I'm just trying to see how you guys can. First of all, is it proven concept? Because with wearing the glasses, it's going to take years. I mean, that's what the doctor told us, right? So, once in a 6 months, we take her back to the doctor and see, test and see the percentage. Where is it improvements, and if there is, then size changes. So it's a pretty long process. So what do you guys do, with your device? How the process looks like?
We have a device and glasses. You put them on, and then you are exercising. It's like gym exercise when you're training your body muscles, but in our case, you're training eye muscles. And also teach brain during this process to receive both images from both eyes. This is only 20-minute daily exercise and is focused on the main aspects of the problem.
I understand. How, because when she's wearing, for example, when she's, every second is exercising your eyes with the glasses. That's the goal, right? That's the idea. So how are you guys doing better, more efficiently, that 20 minutes? I'm just trying to see what is the difference between what she's wearing right now and what she's going through, every single second.
Do you know the name of the product that she's wearing?
Just regular glasses.
Oh, regular glasses.
Yeah, just regular glasses that she's wearing during the day. Yeah.
Actually, this is the main difference from us, from them, because there is in this 20 minutes, the whole process, the eyes fully active, the muscles are fully active, the brain is fully active. It's not just when you're pushing up and then resting. It's all the time when you're focusing on this problem and doing this. This is focused 20 minutes, so exercise for all this time without the resting the eye. But it's like when you're exercising 2 hours or maybe more. But in our case, it's enough because all this time the process is going on.
Yeah, there's a split type of workout. You can use like muscle workout. You can work out all day. You can work out for speed. We are strengthening the muscles that get stronger. After you work out 20 minutes for 1 month, then you must work out 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And after this time, you can rest 2 months, 3 months.
What does a workout look like?
Yeah, I still don't get it. I don't know if you
Can we
guys
see the device, and can we kind of see how...
Because, listen, I would love actually to see this kind of solution. So that's why we're asking this, more detailed questions, because to me, when she's reading, for example, she's going to school, right? To me, that's still exercise, right? So she's good. So how this device, how your solution going to speed up the process of, fixing the muscle?
Okay, so does that spin round?
No,
No.
it just stays.
Just different lights?
Like this.
You should wear the glasses and do some kind of movements, and you're all this time watching this device. So this
is a little bit complicated because we are doing patent now, and they told us tell
much
secret
about-
sauce about what you are doing. But we had every solutions in Georgia. What can you use? And we tested. We have friends. We tested a lot of people with different age categories, as children, as adult, and
How big was that sample set?
Sorry,
For the testing, how many people did you test?
six people. 6 people.
All
And
6 got result.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
In what period of time?
30-45 days were needed for good improvement of the alignment of the eye and also lazy eye. But it's not the point. It takes 2 months, 3 months during this time.
To get results,
To get
but first our volunteer was our friend, and we saw the results after 10 days.
Yeah.
That was the magic when we see the doctor that that's kind of improvement we have. Every doctor was in like, how you do this?
And this costs $250?
Dollars, yeah.
The end patient would buy them, or a doctor would buy them and lease it out?
Now we are going to sell in USA, and because of insurance policy, we are going to give them like clinics, and they will like
Tell me this, your COGS is only $30.
Yeah.
And you're trying to go to the USA, for which you need FDA approval.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so much margin. Why not just put these devices out in the market? Because the biggest, at cheap cost, because the biggest thing you need right now is feedback from people that it's
data sample
working,
set.
Yeah.
rather than trying to go through a whole regulatory process in the US and sit around for a year before it's approved.
Yeah.
Test it in the market where you have access, sell it for cheap cost, and then go to the US.
Probably it's too expensive for Georgia. I don't know. You guys,
But their COGS is
And
only $30.
also in Europe, we need MDR approval. So
price,
it's kind of.
It's kind of when you
10%.
play basketball, you go to USA. That's NBA's best place to play basketball.
But maybe you
For
start
us,
somewhere else.
FDA opens.
No, it does. I'm not saying
Spain is
don't
good.
go to USA, but I'm just saying, given the
Or
amount of
in your
margin
case,
you
Turkey.
have, put it on Kickstarter for.
No, that's a good
for
point.
Yeah, we are
cheap cost.
going. Yeah.
So, like, there are many other options that you have.
Yes.
The biggest thing right now is, see, when you talk about a device and somebody wearing something,
Yeah.
the decision point changes because you're putting something on your eye, right? For him to say, I'm going to test it for my daughter, he's not going to say that because he doesn't know what the device is going to do.
Absolutely.
But if you say 500 people have tested this, it has been verified by all these people, then
And
Zaza
success
would have
rates,
said,
yes, yeah.
hey, let me
Yeah, yeah.
test it with my daughter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You need to get to that point. And I think it's going to be very, very hard to get to that point unless a lot of people are using it.
It's basically,
Sasha had a really good comment. You guys missed it. You mentioned that, yeah, my end goal is to get in NBA, but before I went to NBA, I went to Turkey. So that's like there's a layers, right? End goal, is that obviously, but there's a process.
Okay.
So you need to check all the boxes.
Just reinforcing what everyone's saying. Actually, for low-level medical approval, I'm not talking about high, risky medicine.
Yeah.
There are ways of distributing, thanks to the internet, that are legal from outside the regulatory areas. For example, if a user can actually import this product in the EU from outside the EU without regulatory approval for this type of thing.
Okay, I want to mention one thing that. We know how it works. We know that we are best, and we are going to best approval in the world. That
You guys know, but but people don't. That's the problem.
that's
It's
the
not
problem.
about what you guys think. It's about what you're trying to build a customer base and trust.
Yeah.
Unless you were the
different.
best doctor in the
Yeah.
world saying that I know this works, then the customers would trust, right?
Yeah, in Georgia
But you
we
guys
have
are just
like
startup, right? So for that, when you build a hardware device, it's really, really hard for customers to put it, especially with kids. You're not going to put it on your kid's eyes unless you can actually trust the device,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because of
Last question: is the device ready to be manufactured, or is it just a prototype?
We are no, it's MVP. We are now producing in Georgia with 3D printers, but we are going to, after we think FDA, we are going to make it in China, and margin will be a lot bigger.
So the $30 that you mentioned, the COGS, is that at scale or is that with how many quantities?
So I don't.
So the $30 COGS.
Yeah.
What is the quantity level that you have to make to get the $30 per device?
One.
Oh, so each is $30. It doesn't matter how much quantity.
That's today, right?
Okay.
It's $30 cost you today?
Yeah.
So in China, it's going to cost you 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will be cost 20
All right.
or 10.
So you have so much margin.
Yeah.
Really, really think about how you're going to get these in hands of people. Let's even say you raise money, give it out for free.
We are going in those countries with Red Cross to give 50% cheaper, and
Even
you
free,
buy
yeah.
3, we give. You buy 1, we give.
No, I don't think
three,
you're
and
listening what I'm
let's
saying.
speak.
That's not what I'm saying. Yes, you're doing good by giving out to other
Free
organizations.
trial for testing.
But what I'm saying is, in order to, the biggest thing you need right now is customer feedback.
Okay, I get.
And customer stamp of approval to say this device works.
Okay.
So yes, you can give it to all these organizations also, but before even they put it in their hands of people, they need to
they're not
see that
even
it's
gonna
working.
get it, yeah.
So put this another way. Your value proposition, this is like very, very clear. The issue is you have no credibility.
Yes.
Right? It's like unless you have endorsement from a recent endorsement, some medical association or some endorsement from like, we've done this with 1,000 people and results are like 90, 95%. Until I see that, where it's like, okay, the value proposition is good, but like, I don't even know this works. Why would I try this? Versus like, oh wow, a whole bunch of people have done this. Here's some testimonials. Here's some people that endorse this. That becomes very different. Where it's like, all right, great. I'm going to pay the $250, $300 or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So basically, you guys trying to build a huge building without a solid foundation,
Yeah.
right? Foundation is the most important thing. So like, guys should be focusing on the foundation. How you can, earn the trust, right?
Don't focus on the end result unless you have a
exactly.
solid foundation.
Are you also very well about how patents work? So once you have the Georgian patent, how quickly you can move to have larger coverage, like in EU and the US?
We are working now on Georgian patent, and we have alternatives that working on USA and
Yeah, 'cause
Europe
you can
also
expand
at
them
the same time.
very quickly.
Yeah. It will
No,
be
but
very
how long would it take? What is the process like in Georgia?
Maximum
versus-
6 months we need to get Georgian patent, and at the same time, after 1 or 2 weeks, we are going to make USA patent also.
By the way, you could still file for provisionals in all these countries.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Exactly.
go
That's
get a
my point.
patent. File a provisional. The provisional patent still protects you for a year until you file the real patent.
Exactly. I mean, I'd almost.
You're a hardware guy.
I'd almost cover that. No, I mean EU as well. I mean, not just the US. EU's often very quick to do exactly what you said. So
And it's cheap process.
You get in the process. I mean, there's companies do that all over the EU. They're not that expensive. Don't do it from Georgia. Get an expert from the EU. They'll charge you, $1,000 or something, and they'll process it, and it's already in the pipeline.
So
and you're covered if you're something new.
I feel you guys are focused on the end result without ignoring the step. I mean, with ignoring the steps in the middle.
That matter the most.
Those are the things that matter the most.
Even
You will automatically get the end result, but you have to take the path.
Yeah, of
get
course.
there.
But before FDA before even we get to FDA, get even closer to FDA, we should test some more people because there are some paper issues about how much people you tested and
course.
so on.
Yeah, that's the point.
Because
That's the point.
Of course, that's because even we can't even reach FDA without this.
That's like
So-
patience.
Yeah, but you guys saying that you
we
only
started
tested 6
very-
people, right?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
are going more 20 for FDA, more
It will
50
be
for FDA.
needed 30 or 50 more
Yeah, and how will you
people.
reach those people? Are you looking for them in Georgia?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
are
we-
looking them in Georgia.
So
Sorry.
we already have 20 people for like customers.
Okay.
To
I
use
think you
this.
need enough customers to be able to give you the
Yeah.
stamp of. I don't know what that number is. I think you'll have to figure out that
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
But given the margin and how cheap you can make the product,
Just-
I think let's call it $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you can make the product for, you said $30, right? So you can give out those number of products in the market for free, even if you have to just get that sample size, right?
By the way,
we're going.
one last question. So you guys mentioned like U.S. is probably leads, for the need, right? And like globally, like how where is it now? Like what is the kind of where the world stands right now? And is it from year to year? Is it increasing? This problem is it decreasing?
It's increasing very.
Sorry.
It will be 221 million by 2040. Like
And in USA,
Mostly
nowadays,
silver, huh?
yeah,
20 million people are in USA.
children. And if they are not completely trying something like our device. It's can you?
Okay.
It's like permanent vision loss.
Oh, this is very interesting slide.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like global burden of disease is 900 million years now,
This is years lived with disability for those people.
and more of those dying because of this disability, because some kind of driving, they can
Accident,
have eye, some blurring, and they get accidents, depression, some disease, such as if you
not work.
can't work out
Yeah,
or
we
something.
got it.
Yeah,
we got
we
it.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got
listen, like, keep focus on like the. I hope you guys. I mean, I understood the messages. These are great messages by my colleagues. Focus on those things, and my
Yeah,
recommendation.
after this grant, we are going.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
test
this is
more people.
very interesting to me, I would say, because I see the problem, and obviously it's in my family. And of course, as a parent, you're always trying to find, how to, especially competition-wise, like you guys saying, at least we couldn't find it. I mean, we kind of took the long-term path to fix it, but if there is something, there's a solution that's going to fix it within a month or two, even 1 year, without, without surgery. That's pretty awesome. So, but again, focus on the lay the foundation and the trust.
If you guys have something so revolutionary, you
Yeah.
guys are wasting time.
Yeah.
You should be going out right now and giving devices away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you believe there's something so revolutionary,
Yeah.
that it can do it in such a short time.
Yeah, because if I'm convinced as a parent, I'd pay anything.
Yes.
I'd pay anything.
It's only 11 months. We started.
But we've had first MVP, and we'll already granted with Judah and USA for 50K.
Okay.
And
We don't
But none
care.
of that matters.
We don't care.
None of that
Like,
matters.
like
It's the
investors don't
What
care.
matters,
Yeah.
what matters is how many people have used it, what is the result.
we're going
Yeah.
fast. I want to say that we are going
These
fast.
guys are so successful, like, and they understand what the investment is about. We don't care about, like, for you to tell us how we're gonna make this much money. Trust me, as far as I have some product, like unique product that's gonna change this world, we understand what's the outcome gonna be. But it's about the product. It's about you guys. They focusing and concentrating on the right things. All
We
right.
have passion to help people and also
Very big
get-
passion.
We don't disagree with that. All
Yeah,
you're saying is,
I personally,
thank
I
you.
personally had this problem, so I know exactly what it is and what problems people nowadays have.
Sure.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Good.
Good morning.
Like, you know, I love kids and they shouldn't have any issues.
Hi. Can I start? Hello, everyone. I'm Malchas Tarulishvili. I'm an ophthalmologist with 10 years of experience, and during this period, I managed home-based eye exams and met thousands of patients who were not able to visit eye clinic because of busy schedule or motion issues. The big problem is that delayed prescriptions and diagnosis often lead to irreversible blindness. That's why I got an idea to create AI Optics, solution which offers remotely available eye exams. People can check their eyes using phones, PCs, or tablets from the comfort of their homes and offices. They can avoid the queues and other time-consuming procedures. Our competitive advantage stems in AI-driven instant diagnosis. While our competitors need up to 24 hours for manual interpretation, our solution offers rapid results. We managed to check around 500 patients in testing mode via video calls and received highly positive feedback from them. Our business model is simple. We have single payment, which costs $29 and also annual membership, which costs $99 and includes 4 times examinations annually. Our plan to acquire our customers is through targeted digital marketing strategies, using social media ads, mobile app ads, email marketing, growth hacking, and SEO also. Our journey starts in Georgia, and after successful launch, we are going to expand our business in our neighboring countries, in Azerbaijan and Armenia. And after that, we are going to scale our startup in Baltic countries and eventually expanding worldwide. As for business potential, there is $18.6 billion market, and our plan that in 5 years our annually revenue will be $100+ million. As for team, we are 2 co-founders, me as an ophthalmologist and the CEO, and Eric Leobuladze serves as a CTO. He's a highly skilled developer, and we have experience working together, and we were working a couple of medical projects. Now I'm here to ask $60K to finish developing application and for marketing costs. Thank you. And
so I'm sorry, my question, how do you do this and what's the actual product?
Yeah, exactly.
Actual product is an online, remotely available eye exams.
Okay.
Our customers can use it by application, or we will have also web platform.
So you're using the on-device camera, basically, to...
Camera, not actual. Okay. In our application is inserted several eye tests, which will pass our patient, and our AI will process its data.
So it's basically whatever you see in the front, and then you're actually giving the feedback.
Yes. One of them is a visual acuity test. Yes, right. Sure.
And you do that through a mobile phone?
Sorry?
And you can do that through a mobile phone or a desktop?
Yes, you can use mobile phone, tablet, or a mobile device. Or
so you give them an eye test similar to you would in when you go to see the
Yes.
Okay. The question here. I use glasses to read, but so I regularly go and check every year, or when I break my glasses, which is very often. It's actually they give me a free test. So when I go into they'll check my eyes. They'll say, it's got worse this year, and then they'll prescribe my glasses, and it's instant. They tell me like literally in 2 minutes. Yeah. So there's a bit here that said it's 24 hours. Secondly, it's free because they're selling me the glasses. Yeah. And then also they check a lot of things, not just eye level, but stigmatism, which isn't just the view. So how do you cover all that?
You mean on-site, offline?
I go to the optician. I've broken my glasses. I need some new ones. They give me a double check on my eyes, free of charge. They say, look, it's a little bit worse, and they give me some new glasses.
And they also measure a bunch of other stuff.
But they also measure stigmatism and all other.
Yes. I want to mention that nowadays technologies cannot fully change on-site offline clinics, but it covers about 80% of eye healthcare services. You can save time
and effort, and you can avoid queues and other procedures by this application or web platform.
Okay.
So I've heard about this before. There's definitely competition in this market.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the competition? Because I saw that slide, the instant versus 24 hours.
Yeah.
But there have to be a lot of people doing this. I mean, this is, if it's on the app,
Yes.
right? It's not the first time, I don't think.
Yes, let me explain. We have direct and indirect competitors. Our indirect competitors are classic clinics and the optic retail shops with on-site eye doctors, and our direct competitors are other online examination platforms.
Can you mention a few and how big are they?
Yes, I can say one of the biggest is Visibly.com, which experienced huge growth after COVID pandemic.
Right.
And I want to mention that after COVID pandemic, telemedicine market experienced significant growth, and also AI technologies. Our advantage is instant diagnosis and instant prescriptions. Our competitors need up to 24 hours, and they will send this prescription and diagnosis by mail in up to 24 hours.
Well, I don't think that's a big enough differentiation, by the way, but we forget that for a second. I think just the, given, and I'd love to kind of understand a little bit about the Georgian market, but just given that you're in this space and you've been doing this for 10 years,
yes,
I feel the approach you're taking for the route to customers, I mean, the customer acquisition here is going to be super tricky, and it's going to be super expensive. But if you build something that is really, really good, you should just be selling B2B to companies, because they'll pay you a lot more, and they already have the set of customers that come to them. So you're basically helping them. So instead of going for an annual eye test, you can go for an annual eye test in this physically, but you can do eye tests virtually sitting at your home in the middle if you need to, or whatever the time frame works out to be. But I think the route, the go-to market here is very questionable.
What you do there, yeah, you totally agree. What you could do is increase recurring sales, right? So I don't necessarily change my glasses the speed I should, because I can see okay. And what my optician could do is actually remind me to do a test every 6 months online with yours, and it detects actually my eyes got a little bit worse, so I'll speed up my sales. So you build as a B2B tool that they probably won't build. Even the large chains probably won't build that stuff online. And you have a B2B business model that gives recurring sales to them, speeds up sales. Instead of me buying glasses every 18 months, I'll buy every 12 months.
And that is a more defensible model, because once you get into those chains or those practitioners, they're not going to change it. Online, it's very probably easy to replicate. I don't think there's a secret sauce here.
Yeah, I think that's a big question. It's like, how big of a problem does the consumer actually perceive this to be a problem, where it's like, oh, whatever, I'll just go in once a year, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever, pay $10. Like, it's just, I'm having a hard time understanding sort of like the value proposition. That's question number one. And it's not a question, but it's a comment. And then comment number two, the big part is like, how well does this thing actually work, right? Like the have you tested this? Can you? I didn't get that because I didn't understand the product. So it's just like, wow, like what's so different and unique, and how well does this thing actually work? Do you understand my question? Where it's like, how much has been built so far? How have you tested this? Tell me where you're at with the product.
Okay, let me explain. Here was, as I understood, several questions, and I will start from last. As I mentioned, I have tested 500 patients via video call, but
with the. You've tested 500 patients, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They were already my existing patients from clinic, and we inputted this eye examination data to our AI model and compared to our results, and it was about 99% precise, accurate.
Oh, okay.
Accurate. Another question, as I understood, was how big is the problem? I was oriented mainly on home-based eye exams, and even in this market, the demand is very high because the portable devices is very expensive, and the doctor who is eager to go home by home to the patients is very low, and that was the reason.
Can you give us the size of the Georgian market?
The Georgian eye healthcare market is about $10 million US dollar.
How many professionals like you exist in the market?
Ophthalmologists, right? About 200 active, but
so that's not a big number, by the way. That's not, and you probably know a bunch of them. There's an organization, I'm guessing, that you can go to. I really think if you have 99% accuracy and you have something that you've built here, the route is through the doctors. And
Correct.
if you are in the market and you are part of the ecosystem,
yes.
that's the best way to test if the B2B channel works for you. If you still want to go to B2C, that's still a great way because you verify with them and you have all these patients using the product and you're still more validated than what you would be trying to get customer acquisition online.
Doctors or opticians? Opticians sell the glasses in the end.
Yeah.
They make the money there.
Yeah.
Yes, in Georgia we don't have optometrists. They are only ophthalmologists. Let me explain about our B2B model. We started negotiation to other clinics to send the patients just in case there is some emergency, some serious eye disease detected. But instead of this, we will receive the eye examination data without personal information, of course, to train our AI model continuously. So that's our plan.
Yeah, no, I think what Sasha said, right? Like if he doesn't go in as often and his doctor told him to take these eye exams at home, you automatically create a flow into him going in if there's something serious, him getting more glasses if he needs to, and there's that the dialogue that's continuously happening between the doctor and the patient.
Generally, you go to the same optician, right, every year.
Yes.
So basically, they have your data. They remind you 6 months, please check your eyes online. You do a test, and then it tells you it's got worse or whatever, you have something new.
Yes.
Come in, and then you do the formal thing, and that's like incremental revenue or quicker revenue than they would have having waited 18 months, which is what I think a lot of people do.
So can you repeat
Sorry,
the last question?
But I think your tool is to increase revenue for the opticians, and because in the essence, they'll be able to sell you glasses more often.
Yes, we also start negotiation to optics and optical retail shops, and also our plan.
I think that's where you should focus. I mean, if this is an app that they can give to the customers that already come to them, you have a better path to getting being tested by different patients, but also getting traction, right?
Yes, but the first patients will be my own patients.
Which is great.
They are already
awesome.
waiting about at least 200.
That's great.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.
Gagi Marjot Batonebo. Hello. Very good. It's much warmer in here.
That's the problem. That's what we've been complaining.
It's too warm for you guys, yeah.
Really?
Do I have to point this somewhere? Oh, it started already. Hi, I'm Brian from EvoFit. We help people get in better shape, but not with another health app. I used to take these allergy pills every morning my entire life. It used to make me very tired every day. That's until 10 years ago when I met friends who helped me change my diet, my exercise. I couldn't have done it without them, and that's my point. We need coaches like we need friends. People help us grow. Our customers target are people who try to work out alone at home and fail. They fail, we help them win. On the other side, we know personal trainers struggle to make a good living. We help them get more revenue. The digital coaching market is absolutely booming, especially since COVID, set to reach $40 billion in the next 2 years. On one side, we know more than half people actually prefer working out at home, and 80% of personal trainers quit within their first year of working. That's where we come in. Obviously, there are tons of great apps out there. They're either for us too expensive or too virtual, too analytical, not human-centric like we want to be. What we do is we do use AI to assist coaches in the responses they get, but we focus on the conversation with the customers. We have the daily check-in method, 4 minute, and that way customers get more accountability, more consistency, motivation, and coaches get a new revenue stream. We have the perfect team to go on this adventure. Our CEO, who asked me to pitch, Eliso from Tbilisi, is a brilliant people leader. She has extensive network here in the wellness space. I have 10 years of experience working and building wellness businesses. I also live in beautiful Georgia. Luke is a world champion athlete helping us finding coaches all across Europe. And Lado is our mobile app and AI superstar. Customers, mainly coaches referral. We have 200 coaches who agreed to work with us, Europe, Georgia. We have top-level athletes who will help us launch, who have agreed, and access to a 20,000 customer base. I will tell you a little bit in the questions about the user validation we have done in October, because I see time running out. Average subscription, $25, half of what people pay in gym in Georgia, and 60% of that will go to coaches. That's more than what they typically get as well, and it's average. Our forecast, first year, launch MVP, 5,000 users in Georgia, and by year 3, 6 countries, 60,000 users. I'm a very disciplined person. I still need a coach. I know 5 minutes a day can really change a lot of people's lives, and I want to share what I've had with our customers. So thank you for your attention, and let's do that.
Can you tell us more about exactly what you guys are offering?
How it works.
Yeah.
The product.
Yeah, product. Yeah, talk about product more.
It's a coach marketplace. There's going to become more and more coach marketplace. What we do is we help people who are beginners working out. We give them a plan, workout or diet. That's the 2 branches. And then you choose 3 daily check-ins per week. So you have 3 weekly coachings. But the coaching after the initial plan is 5 minutes average. Because what I've had as feedback in the last 6-7 years is most people, they just need to hear, hey, George, can you send me a picture of your lunch? Hey, George, did you do the push-up yesterday? How is it going? And that's about 5 minutes. So we have one-to-one coaching, but we help coaches get, time block and batch process the clientele.
So as a customer, I sign up for the app, I go in and I pick a coach, or the coach is automatically assigned to me?
You pick a coach, but it's filtered out for you because we're localized. So here
you ask me a bunch of questions through the app, and then the coaches are localized, and then I pick a coach from that.
So if you live in Georgia, but you want English speaking, that's the first filter. Yes, you have the profile set up.
And then after that, you have a session with the coach, and then they personalize your experience?
Exactly.
Got it. I mean, there are a lot of these apps out there. I think the difference here that I hear, and I haven't tested a bunch of these apps because I'm not an online big online person, but I think the difference here, which kind of is interesting, is that you only do a 5-minute session.
Yes.
With the coach, which is.
So it's more.
I mean, especially we're talking about beginners. Beginners need more attention. All right.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Maybe I'm not as fit as you are.
I don't.
But I don't have a tight shirt on. But like, you know, I've been exercising, working out all my life.
Yes.
You know,
Can we get a tight shirt for Zaga?
Yeah.
No, please don't. It's okay, I'll put the
But
jacket
you know,
on.
especially in the beginning, because there's a form thing. It's super, super important because there's a possibility of getting injured, especially if you don't know. And I don't think 5 minutes. So like, what made you? Is this something that you're trying to sell your product? Because like, hey, just 5 minutes, boom, I'm gonna pop out, make sure it cut. Is it motivation? I'm trying to understand. Is it a motivational thing that you guys trying to solve? Like to keep the people accountable? Because this is cool, actually, right? We all need accountability, right? Doesn't matter what we do. Or are you guys trying to do the research so people are tired of hearing the voice? Like I'm having a hard time to understand.
Okay, so tell me if I understand the question, but yes, human accountability for me, number one thing. And this is not, I try to find a product so I can get a job. I actually have companies and I change in January, so I'm not trying to sell product. It's from the feedback I have. I know my mom, for example, she wants to start doing things. Of course, I'm not going to tell her you should go and do a clean and jerk or something, but I know she goes walking, she wants to start running, she knows what push-ups are, she wants to change her diet, but she can't pay a 1 hour coaching. She doesn't have the money for it, for example. She could have this, and after her initial plan of this is how you should eat during the month, having a voice message of 2-3 minutes of the human accountability would be huge for her. That I know, because that's what I ended up doing with her.
So I see his point about getting injured, but there is definitely accountability
100%.
in terms of
The 3
good, yeah.
3 and 4 minutes are bi-directional. It's a conversation, or it's just a voice message or video from the.
It's bi-directional, and that's why I
conversation.
said yes.
Okay.
We want to do time blocking for coaches.
So the unit economics around that. So let's say I'm a coach.
Yes.
You know, literally to do a lot of 4-minute sessions. I know we have 24 hours in a day, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's quite a lot of little things. Does that make sense for the coach to do those? Is he going to make enough money?
Yeah. So actually,
do you need a coach for 5 minutes? I don't know.
Well, no, I think you hit on it. I think it's more motivational.
Right.
But it's the same thing.
It's all motivational.
But you have a professional.
It could be called,
going to be paid 5-minute slots, which.
Yes. It could be called mentorship in a way, but I know mentorship in the business world is seen as business.
No, to me, it's mentorship motivational.
Yeah. What I told the trainers when mentoring, they were like, no, mentoring
so for
is
the coach,
for finance.
What's the unit economics for them? How do they make money? I mean, like for each 4-minute slot, how many do they have to do?
Yeah.
Because that's
right.
The bit I find a little bit complex.
Okay. And actually, I'd love to have your input as well. Thank you, Sasha. But from the experience for coaches, what we find is there's a lot of coaches who have idle time during the day. And actually, it's hard for them because they have very long hours. The successful coaches, 1 hour, one client is only one client. What we do is we say, okay, from 3 to 5, you work less, or maybe this month. That's going to be your time slot, and you're going to batch process all the clients on your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at this time. And on average, it's going to take you 5 minutes. Maybe one guy is going to ask you more stuff, like 5-6 questions. It's going to take you 7 minutes. But maybe the second one, Lado, is going to say, yeah, all good. I did it yesterday. It's great. Let's catch up in 2 days, basically. And I think I see now that from the outside, it sounds like, we just want to sell 5-minute coaching, but that's not how we want to obviously market it to customers, like, hey, come pay for 5 minutes. But what we see is I've also coached for people for their diet for years as well, free or like helping out. And I don't take, after the initial 30 to 60 minute diet plan, I don't take more than 4 minutes to talk to them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What I want to know is I'm a coach on your platform, or a mentor, or whatever we want to call this person. And let's say it's successful, and I literally have 100 customers, which is amazing. So I have maybe 200 slots per week of 5 minutes. I obviously have to remember which customers, so there's a bit of work before that. So it's not just the 5 minutes. I really have to go into the history. Who am I speaking to tomorrow?
That's where we use a bit of technology.
So what will I make for that? What's my income? And that's what I'd like to know from the coach perspective.
Okay.
How,
What we calculate so far, obviously I don't have 10 years of the app running, 80 clients maximum. Per coach. 80 clients.
80 clients?
Yes.
80.
Yeah, 80. 80.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which is a huge thing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why we say 7x. Obviously, that's the maximum we feel. 80 would be if, on average, people take the 3 daily weekly plan. That's 6 days a week work.
Yeah.
You can have 40 all the time. Yeah. What you have is you time block 2-3 hours for the coach, and you get 60% of the 25 monthly. That's significant, especially because it's new revenue stream.
$15 times 80 per month,
Yes.
roughly.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's your extra income that you're making.
Yes, and also we're more thinking of sport universities, for example, for partnerships. But I've thought of gyms for a long time because coaches get their physical training and then they have 2 or 3 hours more. They can set on the app. I have 10 slots for 10 clients, and then I'm done. And it's people who they know their aunt doesn't want to go to the gym, but she would probably go on this service to get some help, for example. Yeah, so it's like a new revenue stream. And I really believe this would be the disruption, is that there's a lot of people who would do something, but if you're like, yeah, go on the coaching apps and see, oh, you have to choose 3 p.m. and it's $100 and it's 3 to 4. Most beginners, they'll be like, yeah, I'm not sure.
Let's talk about the traction a little bit, because you said...
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. I still have serious doubts about the coaching side of the unit economics. So, you know.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's fair enough. You can make about 1,500 that with a full agenda, but then you have a lot of
in Georgia.
Yeah, but you'll have a lot of customers like myself who probably say, I can't make tomorrow's 5. Can you do? So you're moving around 80 of those people. It's going to make it very complex.
Yeah. Scheduling one.
Yes. You don't need to be together at the same time.
If it's bidirectional?
It's kind of like, yes, most of the time, you know your coach will be there at 4 p.m. If you want to tell him at 2 p.m. or answer later, you do what you want. He will still answer.
At that time.
Yeah. So he's time blocking.
Okay.
And when you sign up, you know this is a 4 p.m. coach for you.
Sure.
As in, he will answer every day at 4 p.m. If he doesn't, his rating goes down, his commission goes down.
Voice message, maybe. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry?
Leave a voice message if you're not there?
Yes.
Okay.
Both will get reminder, and yeah, they will meet. They can or not meet up. Sorry.
Let's talk about the traction a little bit. You have 200 coaches. You said you've signed up.
Yes.
And what about the number of customers?
You haven't launched it yet, right?
No,
Okay,
we
you
have not
it.
launched.
Okay, but
no.
the app is ready the way you're saying?
We're finishing. We're on beta launch in February.
Got it.
For now, we've done user validation. We're 7, me included, as coaches, and we have 10 people per day on WhatsApp groups, on WhatsApp.
I think the answer, you kind of answered how you should be approaching this in a way. I have friends who use coaches, and then for accountability, they're texting the coaches pictures of what they're eating.
Exactly.
You know, et cetera, et cetera. But the path here, I don't think you should be acquiring customers. The coaches should be giving the customers to you.
Yeah, well, that's what we're
app.
doing. Coach referral is our strategy to market.
And it's a very easy market to test whether there's a demand for this or not by just doing it locally here. I'm not really sure in terms of, you know, the competitiveness, because I've heard of a lot of apps here, but in the end, I don't know how many coaches exist in Georgia here, but let's call it 200, like you said. And if you have all 200 of them.
Oh, no, there's more, yeah.
But let's just call it 200, and they each have 10 customers. You have that 2,000 customers that you can go talk to and see if the coaches are using the app for them.
When we say we've agreed with the coaches, that's because they like the business model.
Yeah.
And they know they will, if they told us, yeah, we have 3-4 people, okay, then you'll be onboarded. We want to be coaching platform, and the AI will help them coach better too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm highly doubtful about the $25.
Yeah, this is one of them. Like, I think it was the previous one when you say, like, it's a B2B more, that's how I look at it. Like, you know, because they're like, it's pretty busy space. And I've done multiple investments in this space with tech or physical. And I would like to, this accountability thing, I'll recommend to some of my portfolio companies, hey, this is a pretty cool tool actually for us to use, because they've done an amazing job, I think, you know, when it comes to tech, and especially we're talking about, you know, how Apple has been dominating on their field, and like, you know, this is a pretty cool tool to me to recommend, and I would just like more focus on accountability aspects. Build it.
I really like the 5-minute snippet thing. That's have you seen that in any other industry? Like
That's what we haven't seen. There's
no, in
a lot
language, no, something totally different, not in health, but language education, something that the typical thing that you need to be pushed. And health is one of those, and sports is one of those.
I was looking at Czech, for example, and I haven't seen the 5-minute thing. I think it's always our slots that are sold.
I think you're really onto something with the 5-minute snip. It's the problem is it's so complex to make it work. These 5 little minute slots with human beings.
That's why we want to add AI, but 100%. This is the different idea. The rest is we're not
but there's a lot you
the
have
wheel.
to build to get all that working, and it might be over-engineering. The easiest thing to start with to see if it works is just create something where the coaches can just communicate with their customers without an app. Before you even invest all this money into building an app, just see if that idea even works with the coaches and their customers.
So, for example, what like we've done in October, you're saying?
Yeah, and just scale that and see how many customers. Because I don't think the customers are going to pay $25 a month. I think that's pretty expensive.
Because there's going to be priorities, like so.
For coaching?
No. So let's talk about like we're trying to get a result, right? So what is our priority, right? To find a good trainer, to find a good tools like this that is kind of suits our circumstances. Like if I'm living in a small apartment, right? So what are some of the things I can use, right? I cannot bring the huge inventory, right? So there's the priorities, and then where do you guys fit in the list of the priorities, right?
The personal trainer. Like this is 1 month, it's 12 sessions. Personal training, even in Georgia, costs.
I really also think this market has a pretty high churn.
Yeah.
You start with coaching. Let's say it's your New Year resolution.
Yes.
Then you really need consistency to continue. There are obviously people who continue. The other people just drop out. So there's a lot of issues here, which I feel before you invest in an app that does all of this, plus the scheduling aspect, there's a ton of things to test. I like the idea of the check-in and the motivation aspect. I think that's a cool idea. There's something there. I'm just trying to figure out what the approach is. I don't know what the approach is. But I think between the coaches you have access to and their customers, you can figure out what the best approach is. And maybe you already have. But I think you're kind of over-engineering the app a little bit, at least for now, based on.
Yeah, it's about doing the testing and making sure the process actually works, and then you kind of build around the process. Which the mistake that a lot of companies do is they build the product and they realize like, oh crap,
it doesn't work.
This actually
we don't really need this.
It actually doesn't actually make sense, and we need to rebuild again. So just some thoughts. Because I think we're over time. So thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
No. That's
thank you for your feedback, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Good morning.
Hi.
In 2020, I went through a tough time personally. And before I even could fully process that, world was hit by COVID pandemic. Like many, I found myself battling increased anxiety. I tried meditation apps, but none felt truly personalized. It felt like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound. And I'm not alone. 1 in 3 person struggles with anxiety. That's why we present an app that tackles this very issue by merging power of AI and mindfulness. Even though there is a current shift in technology, mindfulness space stays relatively untouched. This gives us huge opportunity to be pioneers in this field and acquire rapidly growing market. We launch our mobile app, we launch our MVP to gather customer feedback. It's relatively simple. You have chat with AI, adjust your preferences, and under 3 seconds, you have generated meditation just for you. Next big step is to launch our mobile app and enter Argentina market with influence campaign, digital ads, and partnering up with local therapists. Mobile app enable us to have features like habit tracking, daily challenges, but most importantly, we collect user data with their permission. Down the road, we'll train this data to give user unparalleled user experience. Behind all of that stands a rockstar team who are captivated by the potential of AI. We have built multiple LLM apps, but right now we want to make something more advanced. Beyond that, our team have proven track record of delivering the products the users love. To see the market and market trends, we see it's constantly growing and people are looking the ways to feel calm and better. Last year, 2 of our biggest competitors, Calm and Headspace, generated over $500 million revenue, and it's expected to reach 7.5 in next 5 years. To run through some numbers, our subscription, we use subscription-based model and charge $15 per month. We starting marketing cost $3,000 per month, and our ratio to CAC to LTV is 1:10. We ask you $150K and your expertise to reshape the future of mindfulness and penetrate the market. Then you.
I think, the problem here is if you go back to your market opportunity slide, the problem here is your market opportunity is also your issue because this market is so competitive. It is, there's so many startups doing this stuff and they are all struggling. The reason is the acquisition here, people will come to you when they have something and they just churn so fast. It's a very, very hard space on the consumer side.
Can you clarify something for me? Where's the product at right now? The next slide, right? Your traction slide. Is that because you haven't launched it yet, right? So
we have launched our MVP.
Your MVP.
MVP. So you can actually visit it. You have chat with AI, our AI. It gathers your data, and after that, you adjust your preferences, and you have meditation session just for you under 3 seconds. Let me get back to you about competitors. So we are planning to enter to Argentina with several reasons. Because first of all, our competitors are not presented pretty strong there. And its cultural openness to mindfulness and mental health therapy. And it's have highest rates of psychologists per capita. And as you know, more younger you are, more stressed you are. So younger generation, they have high rate of younger generation there.
So I get the macro stuff. Why did you guys pick Argentina? Do you have some edge there? Do you have some what's your expertise about art? I get this, so I agree with all this, and I've been there many times. So,
2 reasons: they have high proficiency in English, and their native tongue is Spanish. So models, LLM models, are trained of those data. So to start with Georgia, it will be difficult because technology does not support us.
Let me put this another way. What's your expertise? What's your edge to be able to win in Argentina, right? What do you know? Like I get the macro sort of reasons for it. Like
we're starting negotiation and kind of research and connections into Spanish and Argentinian market because we have connections to Spanish psychologists throughout our team member who is also psychologist.
Great.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. In the projections, so these are not these ones. When you go back to like your LTV versus CAC, these are projections, right? Or
yeah, it's projections based on research on competitors and some kind of industry standards.
Yep. So, yeah, Argentina is interesting. I agree with you. Everybody has a psychologist.
Yep.
You give one to your kid when they're born. It's literally, so it's quite a funny market in that sense. And so I think it's very apt. But I think you're mistaken that it is very competitive for that precise reason. Argentinians are very well connected. They have visibility of some of your competitors. Many of them are using it. So I wouldn't underestimate the competitiveness of the market. It's not the US, but it's a very advanced market. It's the most advanced market in Latin America for sure, and probably just as advanced as Spain or other EU countries. But so.
The reason why we say it's less competitive than others because we get the data and in app stores and in terms of usability, it's ranked in bottom 100, top 100 compared to other countries where we try to research. So it's in the top 10 or 5.
That could be down to economics of the individual. So also it's a society that it's not as equally distributed. So many of your potential customers, can afford you, whether you like it or not. So
I mean, my feedback to you would be the same that I gave to 4 earlier startups. If you feel, I heard AI a bunch of times, so if you feel you guys are really, really good at building something, that chatbot that can be very, very differentiated, I would build that and try to either license or sell it to some of these service providers who don't have that capability. But to go and acquire customers in this market, that proposition is just not good. The market is so competitive, and you really don't have any companies that have been super successful. You mentioned 2, but those guys are also, they saw a COVID boom, but at the same time, they're kind of struggling right now in terms of kind of maintaining that path. So if you feel you have that edge in technology on the AI side, I would leverage that, build that, and then try to license that to other companies who actually have
B2B?
more B2B who have the traction. So I know a lot of sleep apps. I know one personally called Rise. They're doing really well. They have all these customers. They already have a revenue stream. If they're looking for something like this, you give them this thing because they cannot build it themselves. And this is just an assumption. I just gave an example, but there are many companies like that potentially that don't have the technology or the ability to kind of build.
Yeah, and one thing you have to also keep in mind, right? Like there are a lot of also free meditation apps.
True.
Like tons of free meditation. Like I use them. I'm cheap, right? So actually, I only use. I don't pay for Calm, even though my friend runs it, right? It's like I don't pay for it.
And your watch has one already. It recommends meditation to you. You could put it on your face, your watch face, and just meditate.
But advantage is like not just meditation. It's personalized meditation based on your data and your habits. It's like previous experience. Because one of the key, when we do customer interviews, the meditation is kind of okay to be generic, but the key thing is they can't develop a habit. So to have this kind of habit accountability, we use this personalization, which really drives.
By the way, Apple is in the best position to do that, right? They measure your heart rate. They measure a bunch of other things. They can see when you're stressed. They can recommend, hey, you should maybe take 2 minutes and meditate right now. So I don't think there's a big differentiation there, really, because you're wearing that thing on your wrist, right? That tells you everything. And it recommends things to you based on all the data they're collecting. And if you go to your health app, you can see how detailed that data is. And they're getting better and better. They're going to add more and more sensors in the watch going forward.
I see Apple's development in this field as an opportunity, not a threat, because development technology, Apple can't be focused mainly on that. We can leverage Apple's research on hardware and other companies because it's booming constantly. Not only Apple, all the smart devices are booming. So we can leverage this data to give them exact and precise feedback because I don't think Apple's business model is like only to focus on that.
I think Apple is really, really focused on health, and you could see that from all their presentations in the past. So I disagree there. I don't think they have to also. And if I were to bet on anyone who would do this, it's probably Apple, given the amount of data they have from people and how often you wear your watch and how good they are with getting all this data and tying it all together and giving you recommendations. So I'm not on the same page there, but I feel if you feel that you have an edge on the AI side, I think B2B is probably a better route for you.
Yep.
I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi. Can I start?
Yeah.
Student housing is facing challenges. In countries like Georgia, Turkey, Italy, and many more, students have taken to the streets in protest high rent prices. Because of this problem, we launched a roommate matching platform to help students find each other, find an affordable home, and split the rent. And immediately, we gathered 2,000 registered users. However, after investigating the problem more deeply, we understood that the problem is bigger. Actually, landlords are hesitant to rent their homes to students because of two main fears. The first one is potential property damage, and second one is rent payment reliability. That's why we integrated. That's why when we realized that at first we should make landlords happy to solve students' accommodation problem. And we integrated in our platform new features for landlords to avoid this post-rental routine work. So for now, our landlords receive every month pictures of their properties to make sure that everything is okay. And also in every home, one of our students is appointed as a leader, and that leader is financially motivated to take care of the home. And also we have some other features like maintenance management tools, online rent payments, and etc. And we integrated this 4 months ago, and we immediately gathered paid customers. For now, we have 100 paid customers, students from Georgia, India, Nigeria. Also, we have 200 registered landlords on our platform, and we have 100% monthly growth generated up to 10,000. And I am pretty sure that we can grow faster if we will have more tech solutions in our platform. We have two main streams of revenue. The first one is a one-time fee from each rent from landlords. And second one is monthly commission fee from 5 to 10% each month. And landlords pay us nothing in post-rental care. And all this is possible because we add our commission fee to this rental price, which is split among the students. Market opportunity is huge. Our initial market is Georgia and Turkey. Market size is 5 billion. We will reach 94 million. we use two main customer acquisition strategy. We have 7 partner universities already in Georgia. They send us the students. They are super happy to collaborate with us. And also we use home listing platforms to acquire new homes and landlords. And fortunately, in our team, we have all the competencies. We cover real estate background, we have marketing and growth marketing skills, and also, of course, tech. Taco and me, we left our jobs, and now we are full-time dedicated on Roommate because we believe that this is huge opportunity. Thank you.
Full female team.
Can I ask you a question about
Yes.
the actual model? So you said the student leader is like incentivized. Like why are they incentivized? Can you tell me a little bit more about
Yeah, because like what is our main aim? Main aim is like to avoid this property damage.
Okay.
This is our main aim. So in each home, we have at least 4 students because we match them, right? And how can we avoid this property damage? We should create some kind of intensives. So that's why we created this system that we have one leader in each home who is responsible to take care. And for example, we do some discounts for them to live in this home. For example, like if the rent fee is 200, they pay 150. And for students, it's like really huge discount. They can use this money in another stuff. We already tested this model, of course, and it works. Probably we will change then this leader system, but what we know is that these students love to have intensives to take care of this.
So you're basically a property manager.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Just to make sure I understand.
Post-rental, yeah. We are property managers somehow, but we don't do it manually, of course. We use our students to do this property management. And then
they upload pictures, or they're doing live calls or live videos, etc.
They upload these pictures every month, and this information is automatically sent to our landlords. And this is the point when landlords love us, because nobody loves to communicate with the tenants, right? Sure. Nobody loves.
Listen, I want to just compliment you. You said you talked to the 2,000 people. You changed your approach based on what you heard. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, it was super important for us too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing. You know, it's very hard sometimes for startups to change. I kind of like this, that you are giving landlords an ability to make sure, because they can be sure that their houses are maintained.
Yes.
Can you talk about attraction a little bit, and what is your plan to capture the Georgian market?
For Georgian market? Yeah, we know that our target market in Georgia is like 2 million USD. That's why we want to leave Georgia and go to Turkey. Georgia market is really small. As I mentioned, we have...
That's a good amount, by the way, to start.
Yes.
Sure.
Small but important.
Yeah, very important.
This is at first we were really nervous when we launched this product, and we had only this matching platform. And when we integrated this post-rental care and understood these landlords' pain points, everything changed. And for now, we already do a lot of stuff manually. If you will check our WhatsApp chats, there are a lot of people. We already just can't serve them. That's why we need to improve our technology to serve more.
Can you talk a little bit about what does that improving your technology mean?
Yes, for now we have in our platform, which is launched, this matching and home listings. But we want to create profiles for landlords and profiles for students. And this would be one platform. And then for students, it will be possible to see and upload images, also to split these utilities and to see when to do.
But I think more than the profiles, you need an ability for the images to be sent through the platform to the landlord, and then make sure that they're, so I would focus on doing that.
And we have also some other features. I will tell you, we collect also rent. Landlords hate to call to their tenants and remind them to pay on time. We do this, of course.
There's, I think, a fee you can collect for that too.
Yes,
obviously.
And also we help students to split these utilities to pay together. Also, we have maintenance management tools. What does it mean? In home, a lot of stuff needs repair. Yes, sometimes something happens. So we have the list of people, our reliable partners, and these students can reach out directly. And it's not, we want to skip the process when a student calls to landlord and, I just did something something wrong.
So I think there's a few things here you can skip just to make things simple for you. Like you don't need to build tools to split rent. I think those tools are built. The students will figure out how to split rent themselves. The online rent payments also, you could tie up with services that, so you don't really have, because that's you're collecting cash and transferring, etc. You can really tie up with those services. You can simplify what you build on the technology side. Can you talk a little bit about the market? Like, are there landlords here which you can go to and they own 5,000 apartments, or like, can you kind of talk, or is it very segregated in terms of landlords only owning 1 or 2 apartments? Because then it gets really, really hard to get the distribution on the landlord side, right?
That's a really good question, actually. So there are like different types of landlords, of course. For now, most of our landlords have like 2 or 1 homes, and they are like busy working landlords. So like, all these 200 landlords, what we have for now, word of mouth works perfectly because nobody loves to communicate with tenants, and we are here. So it does not matter for us. It will be like a landlord to have only 1 home or 2, or a property manager. But for now, we are focused on these small, medium landlords. We see opportunity to scale then for property managers too.
Because I think one of the challenges that, with a lot of the, I'm a landlord, right? So I actually deal with a lot of students. Well, I have a property management company that deals with all this stuff, right? Because I don't want to deal with this crap. But I think one of the things, I guess what I'm trying to understand is that, is there a property management sort of like market here? I assume there is, right, in Georgia?
Market, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
there is, right? There are people who actually do this for a living. Most of them suck. And so I think the opportunity that you actually have is either you work with the property managers, this is a tool that they could potentially use.
Or you just
which is actually, that's the opportunity, you disintermediate them. And then if you can actually automate some of that process, not all of them, but you can automate some of the process, is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And sorry, last question. Do you do the student selection, or you send it to the landlord and they pick? What happens?
Yeah, like we receive the students from our partner universities. Okay. We match them, and like then we match these to landlords. So we do this all ourselves.
Okay. But and the landlord goes, yes, I want to do that, yes. Or you just say, hey, here's the folks, take it or leave it.
In the cases what we have for now, landlords does not care about this.
We just don't get paid.
Yeah, because like they are safe, because we have insurance too, and like we are trying to avoid all this property damage, right? So we pick this, but sometimes landlords are very interested and they are just like trying to understand who they are. And this is the moment when, because we have these partner universities, it's really good way for us to have reliable clients, students in our apartments.
Sorry, the one question I didn't get answer to is, are there 10 landlords you can go to and you have 80% of the market here?
In Georgia?
Yes.
No.
So
for now, we don't know.
Okay.
I mean, in general, these tend to be super fragmented markets.
I want to focus on the pain points you're trying to solve, and I think the main one, there's a second one, which I think the online photos, but to me the main one is, as a landlord, and I'm assuming I don't want to rent to students because they might destroy the place.
Exactly.
But it's not enough for me to receive photos every month, because once they've destroyed my apartment, to receive a photo of it, it doesn't give me the confidence.
Yes, it's about.
So it's the first pain point is the key one, right?
Yes.
So the tenant screening.
Yes.
To what level is that? And then it's not a question, it's a little bit of advice. Could that screening be so in depth that you could give the landlord a guarantee? Because that is a game changer, right?
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. If you can get to that, because if there's a 4-bedroom apartment and you're renting out individually the rooms, they're going to make more money. Because these platforms exist in Europe where literally you rent for a small amount, but the overall apartments, you actually get more money. So there's margin there to play with the screening and the guarantees and the insurance. If I'm a landlord and you come with me and say, I do the screening, don't worry, if there's any problem with the apartment, I'll keep you updated on the apartment, but I will give you a guarantee if there's any problem, you're covered. That's the game changer.
Yes, actually we do this, and I will tell you how we do this. At first, we have really good terms and conditions. When we start collaboration, we have communication with landlords and students. We have all this property check written down. We know that if students damage something, we have also deposit, so we will cover it, and students should pay. If something is old in the apartment, then landlord should pay, and all this is clear. Also, we have actually insurance. So if something happens and students can't pay, and even this deposit can't cover, like it's imaginable, but if we have this insurance, we already have in some of the homes.
So I think we're all on the same page that there's something here with
No, go ahead.
with the tenant screening to make sure, I'm a landlord too, to make sure that your property is not damaged, and with your people that you have, that you hire to make, to keep sending these photos, your leaders, to have those leaders in the apartment, I think you can outsource the rent payments. Obviously, you can outsource all the insurance, you can outsource all the maintenance, you don't really have to build that, but those tools with the screening, the photos, and making sure the apartment's not damaged is the pain point that I think everybody would pay for, and that's your differentiation, by the way. I haven't heard any company do this.
Can I add about tenant screening, about your question?
No, I think
Yeah.
because I don't think I know, but there's another piece as well which I think you should investigate. Normally, and I don't know the situation, but let's say you can normally rent a 4-bedroom apartment in Tbilisi for 1,000 jelly. In theory, you should be able to rent 4 bedrooms out for a good margin on that. So maybe 1.4, 1.5, 50% upside. If you can give me as a landlord incremental revenue, maybe 20%, and a guarantee on top, it's a great business model for me because it ups margin. I think that's a key as well.
It's really interesting. So, like, we give them guarantee actually when we have communication and we handle this. About business model, what we understood is that everything changes every day. We do some stuff, like tomorrow it does not work. We started totally differently. Now we do. We will figure it out. I'm pretty sure. We're still testing this business model. I don't know what will be tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure
I think the
that
key
we will
for you
handle
is
it.
going to be focus, so you don't focus, so you don't distract yourself building too many things. Just build what matters, provide value, like he's saying to the landlord, and I think that should be good.
Just a quick question. So a 4-bedroom apartment, what would generally be the average fee a student would pay for a room?
Yeah, like I will give you a real case. For now, we rented 3-bedroom room for 6 Indian girls. One of the rent price is 800. We rented it to 900 USD. So 100 USD is our fee. And also we get 1 month's fee. So we did from this 900 one time, and every 1 month we have 100 USD.
You had 6 people living in a 3-bedroom flat.
Yes, and they have 150. They pay 150 USD near their university. They are super happy, and landlord.
Why wouldn't they? Surely you should be able to charge a little bit more per person and have a higher margin.
This was our mistake, actually. Now we see that we can charge them like more and more.
Just 200 each.
Yeah.
Then you go to 1.2. Then you give the landlord. You don't give him 800. You give him 1,000. So he's super interested, and then you give him guarantees on it, and then it's a no-brainer. And somebody who has 3 apartments and say, "I'm going to do it through you. I make 20%
no-brainer.
So the reason I say this is because there's a bit of that happening in Europe, but a different model where there's a student gets a flat, who has a bit of savings, and he'll rent the other 3 rooms out through platforms, basic room rental, 400 each room, and he actually covers his own rent by renting out the other 3 rooms.
Yes.
So it's a different model. It's very, and that's working in Europe.
And that could be your leader, who's going to send photos and make sure the apartment's in great.
But look at Badi.
Yeah.
I actually like your model. Badi is a model where they did that sort of thing. There's a lot in Europe doing that, but it's just actually basically the student putting the rooms on. Because the same problem, people cannot afford a full apartment, even half an apartment.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
But I actually like your model because one of the big things landlords really don't like is at the end when the students leave.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a family. It's not, and you think, well, after they've left, they've got to spend $5,000 in restoring it. I'd rather not want the hassle.
Exactly.
So if you can give them both, and the first one, the pain point for me is the guarantee.
Yeah. And I will add one thing that I'm really happy that we create new opportunities for students. So on market, we have already new homes. These landlords do not want it to rent their homes, and now they just want it. And even some of our landlords told us that we have great service, and we are so happy about this. So yeah, I think we will figure it out.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
screening is...
Hi.
Aesthetify, it's not...
Sorry, you have the wrong deck. Guys, you have the wrong deck up.
Yeah.
I still don't get one thing. I wanted to ask about like sending pictures and stuff. Like to me, like as a landlord, you let's say you landlord. Like to me, the most important thing is about like matching thing. I don't think we talked enough. First of all, how they match this? Because like screening, this one of them that's I can imagine living with someone without OCD and something else that is messy. That's a huge because that's a beginning of the beginning, right? So that's gonna actually bring the flow of okay, this is most important thing, and then that is the next thing. If you don't match this, that's a problem. That's a big thing.
No, there's a lot of nuances there you can actually tackle, but I think she has to start somewhere.
Okay. Hello, my name is Ilya, and I'm co-founder of Aesthetify. So do you know how the property development is financed? At most, 70% of funds are provided by the bank, and the property developer has to co-invest the remaining 30% before starting a project. So to get this 30%, property developer starts with pre-sales. But the process gets stretched in time and requires dealing with limited budget multiple individual buyers, and at scale, it's getting even more challenging. So, to the project to take off, today's cash is more valuable than tomorrow's margins. Aesthetify is a discount platform for real estate which pulls together large and retail investors into one place, allowing bulk investments in emerging projects. Currently, we have active fundings for Archon Development, Urban, and Iota, with a total allocation of $5 million. As for the investor side, we have partnered up with banks, equity funds, and brokerage companies, and already secured $2 million. Well, for fundraising, we are getting 5% commission, and we pay 2% for customer acquisition. In the recent years, the inflow of capital from CIS countries have increased significantly, so we plan to expand our operations by attracting foreign investors, serving as a primary channel for early-stage discounted real estate acquisition. Thank you.
We presented before, right? Have you? Or this business looks like really familiar for some reason.
There are a lot of
no, it's
so okay. Just on the you mentioned 2% customer acquisition. I didn't understand that piece. I understand you get 5% from the funds you fundraise.
Right.
But the 2%.
2% we pay for customer acquisitions. We go to the commercial banks, for example, and we work with them. For example, corporate bankers,
for high wealth individuals,
high net worth individuals. They bring to us, and then we pay 2%
to the bank for giving you those.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on.
Okay.
Okay. Well, at least they're incentivized. They're incentivized to bring in the customers. So it's good.
Right.
So the $5 million of properties you have on there,
those are the value of the properties, right? But have you sold anything to customers?
No,
yet?
it's the value that we have to bring to the property developer.
Okay, got it. But have you sold anything yet?
It's open now. We are working on it, and we have a specific time that we have to deliver.
So how long has it been open for?
It's just we just acquired this. We're constantly negotiating, so we are already working on it, and we have sold already something. In different projects, we sold 2 apartments. In another, we sold 3 apartments. But in general, we want to raise these numbers that is here.
And you'd raise those through.
We are just doing it offline. We are not launched yet. We want platform to bring together these projects and investors.
Right.
So
okay.
we are now working just offline.
And you would work to invest with the developer directly. So if he needs €1 million or dollars, or you would actually pre-buy some of the flats.
No, we ourselves we are not pre-buying it. We work exclusive. We have exclusive
So
agreements.
they're giving you allocation. They're giving you that allotment.
We just put. Let me explain how it works on a platform actually. So
Yeah,
we put apartments on our platform.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's really easy for the investor or for the client to go to the platform, pick an apartment, and it will show every detail about the apartment, about the project. Then they can select the apartment, they can reserve the apartment, and then we come in contact with them and we...
Okay. So I would be a customer of TBC.
Okay.
TBC would reach me and they say, hey, there's this project, you can buy a flat in somewhere in Tbilisi, it's this much. I'd look at it online with you and then I'd buy.
Right.
Okay, you take 5% of that?
Yeah.
TBC, okay, you give 2%, okay.
Right.
Get that. And have you not, is it not possible to do multi-buying? So let's say you have 5 flats, and I could actually invest in 30% of a flat, knowing that we're going to sell it.
I mean, you can buy all 5 flats.
No, 1 flat.
Okay.
Let's say you have 5
Group
flats.
buying, so...
Group buying of 1 flat.
No, it's not a fractional ownership.
Why not?
Because we sell specific apartments, allocate specific property to specific investors.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but you'd lower it wide. Let's say I couldn't afford a flat, but actually I see it as a very good investment, but I've got 30,000. And I say, hey, I want 20% of that flat, because I know we're going to sell it. So it's...
Right.
But I think that's a very interesting model.
In such case, it gets stretched in time. I mean, I said that if you have many limited budget individual buyers, so they sometimes they don't have enough money or they want to take a loan. And the process is when you are buying as a group, it's not...
You're targeting high net worth individuals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we bring today cash and in advance, before the project started. So
these are all pre-construction projects, and they are waiting for this cash to start building these apartments.
Right. They want bank to give them 70%.
Yeah.
So if they don't have this 30%, bank will not give 70%.
He's digitalizing something that is offline today and has existed for many years, right? Yeah.
I think the problem here are the sales cycles. Like it's very hard to find, and I don't know how many apartments it does this. So 2.5 million might be 5 apartments, 6 apartments. I'm not sure what that amounts to be, but like to find people who would be interested, that's a lot of. It takes time.
Well, family offices already do this, right?
Yeah. We partner up with all like brokerage companies like Galton Taggart, with TBC Status, and all these companies. So actually, bottleneck is more to find interesting projects than the investors.
Of course, it's a supply side.
Because a lot of the projects already have people who invest with them every project, right?
Yeah, but the property developers' clients are different clients than our clients because first of all, our clients are more high net worth individuals who will want to invest and have entry and exit strategy. Because if you are just giving an apartment for their own needs or something else, it's different type of business. So we give them like entry strategy and exit strategy. So
for me, sorry, I agree it's on the supply side, but normally well-established family offices have great relationships with developers, interesting projects. They like it. They present it to their customers. Do you want to buy a flat here? The upside's going to potentially this, blah, blah, blah. So this sort of happens. So either you're amazing at getting the best projects, or you're probably going to be competing with people who've been in the market a lot better with you, have better customers.
Yeah.
I don't trust my bank. I trust my family office.
Yeah.
That's why my angle a little bit is, hey, why don't you go to somebody who can do that? Like, say, hey, if the objective is to sell it, one thing is to keep it and maintain it, that's a headache. But if the objective is to get in and sell it with a 30% or 40% upside, and that's a good business model, you could almost buy 4 flats and distribute it evenly at crowdfunding.
Yeah.
People putting 20K each, they're minimizing their risk because you're diversifying across 4, 5, 6 flats.
Yeah.
And they can make, 20, 30% margin over a period of 12 months. And that's a target that probably isn't served by society today.
Well,
sorry.
It's
just
okay.
An idea.
We're just discussing.
Yeah.
Okay. This actually we already communicated a lot of property developers, and we already negotiated banks, and both sides are very interested. Even the TBC are giving us the projects who want to raise some funds. Because they want to finance some property development, and they know that they don't have this 30%. So TBC is also giving us such kind of companies. And on the investor side, we already have 150 investors today with approximately budget of $10 million to invest. So currently we are working to have nice platform to put everything together. And actually this one.
But if you have investors, they should be able to invest without the platform, right?
Yeah, they are doing it. They are doing it as well. But when you want to scale, that's why we need the platform. When you want to scale, it makes life such much easier. And we are now already working with banks outside of Georgia. We are working with Pasha Bank, Privat Bank in Ukraine, and other banks in Ukraine. But today's situation in Ukraine is also helping, and also in Russia. I mean, a lot of people migrate because of some political situations and so on, and they want to invest somewhere else, and they love Georgia, and why not? And in the future, we are planning to also find property developers in other countries.
No, I mean, I think you can make a lot of money doing this, and I think just getting tech to make it more efficient, great. You make a bill, but it's a traditional business. You're just digitalizing it. There's not that much innovation there.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a great business, but I think if you really want to innovate, you should probably think what is not possible today. And and I think it's interesting to get to a market, a segment of the market which actually can't do that because they don't have that much capital to buy a complete flat or complete apartment, and say, well, I can actually invest 10K, and it's a nice business and get a 20-30% return on my investment in a short period of time, and then replicate that. Anyway. But no, I think it's a cool business.
Way,
if you get the best deals in Tbilisi or in Georgia, it's going to be a good business for sure.
If you do that fractional ownership path, you have to also think about liquidity in terms of selling the flats to provide the returns to the. So it's a very different business. This is a very different business. They're connected in a way because you have access to the best developers. So that's where the investors, if you want to expand this to outside the region and you want other people from outside the region to invest in Georgia, then that model kind of works really well.
Yeah, we started with this type of model, first of all, because we think that for the investor, it's also kind of comfortable to sell apartment because he's the sole owner. And when you have the fractional ownership,
I agree.
And when some people want to really sell their apartments and half people are not agreeing with it, it's kind of messy.
That's why it's best to be very clear. You get in and you get out.
Yeah.
And if that's the model, everyone's in. There's no keeping it.
If you invest in the beginning before the project starts and you have enough time to wait until the project is finished, then you can hit approximately 40% value. But some investors need the money back earlier, so it's under negotiation with the property developer. So sometimes it's also.
You can put those in the terms and conditions about how the dynamics work. But anyway, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey. Congrats on making it to the last speech. So, I'd like to start off with a short video. Sorry if it's a bit disturbing for all of you.
შეწყდა მაშინაც კი, როდესაც ახალგაზრდა ქალმა აივანზე გაქცევა შეძლო, რათა მეზობლებისთვის შველა ეთხოვა.
მივარდი მამა ჩემს თავი
I think we should translate. Is this important?
No, the text is not important. As you could see, there was a female violently being attacked in her house. And what would you do in that case when there's literally nothing that you can do? Scream, shout, and what happens when there's no one to hear you scream? The story of Alerta begins in the middle of the night when I found someone in my house sitting on my bed while I was sleeping. Apparently, 3 dogs, pepper spray, and a taser is not enough to prevent such cases from happening. And experiencing 3 break-ins in one single year made me realize that time is crucial in such cases, and not everyone is able to make that vital call under pressure. Unfortunately, majority of women have experienced some degree of sexual assault at least once in their lifetimes. And I believe that we are losing a lot of lives on a daily basis just because of not being able to notify authorities or get help on time. And this is exactly the problem that our startup is solving. Numerous surveys we conducted shows that the most common issue that the victims have is that they do not have access to their phones. But with so many technological advancements popping up every day, it was time to come up with a smarter, safer, and a more reliable solution, especially with the world going a little bit more crazy recently. Alerta is developing a wearable SOS button in the form of a disguised accessory that sends police and ambulance to your location simply by pressing a button. No questions asked. As soon as you push the button, our operator receives your live location and personal data, and 2 calls are made in a matter of seconds. 1 to the emergency service, and the team is dispatched to your location, and 2nd to the listed emergency contacts. Our standalone device does not need to connect to your phone via Bluetooth, does not need to be charged, and is waterproof, making sure there is no need to take it off at any point. Our target audience is mostly women, elderly, and children, but also pretty much for anyone who values their safety. And we also have a lot of B2B opportunities as well, including partnerships with mobile operators, health insurance companies, NGOs, and hospitals. Our business model consists of 2 parts: device sales, one-time payment of $40, approximately, there will be several options, and also monthly subscription fee of $7. We are expecting to have a revenue of more than $600 million USD by 2028 after expanding to 3 more countries. And our team covers all necessary parts of expertise required for the successful execution, from engineering to product development and from business strategy to awareness campaigns. We will save lives, that's not a question. The real question is how soon can we be there for the next victim that will desperately need us? And we really hope that you will decide to join us on this journey of a positive change that is so long overdue. Thank you.
Interesting. Have you heard Where's Serene? Have you heard?
Sorry?
Have you heard of a Danish company called Where's Serene?
Our biggest and closest competitor is Invisaware. I'm not sure which company you're referring to.
Okay, yeah, I was with the founder recently. She has a similar solution. She's received quite a bit of funding.
Yeah?
She's used a crowd network way of detection.
Yes.
So instead of letting the authorities know, it's to let her community know?
Yes, we are considering that option as well. We will have an app, and we're considering to have an option where other users of Alerta can also come if they're in a nearby location. But it's a bit tricky, like someone might not want it if they're at home, some strangers running into their house. So we're still thinking about that add-on.
Yeah. So, can you just go back to the competition slide for a second?
Yes.
So the one he's mentioning, and then the Invisaware. Can you talk a little bit about Invisaware?
Sure.
Is that local here?
No, that's on US market, quite popular, also raised a lot of money, but the whole point of our product is reliability, to make sure like at any point you have a way out. Invisaware does not need to be charged, so they cover that part. It lasts up to 1 year, but they still connect to Bluetooth or with Bluetooth to a mobile phone. So once your phone is gone, it just becomes a useless accessory. Like even if it's in another room, that's it.
And how does your connection work? You don't need Bluetooth or you don't need internet connection.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer myself, but I tried my best for my engineering team to prep me, and we made this slide to.
So you have a cellular connection.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
How much
The
does it
engineering
cost? How much does it cost to make that?
Approximately 10 USD right now, but we will cut down the costs as we go to mass production.
10 USD for just this part or the whole device?
Whole device. Including software and...
Because there's a whole subscription tied to the cellular connection.
Yes.
You don't have, so 10 USD sounds a little low, but...
In Georgia, at least that's our cost, because it's very cheap to run a SIM card.
And that gives you coverage for, cellular coverage for a year?
No, there's
You mean battery?
Monthly.
You have a monthly fee, right?
Yeah, it covers everything.
So I'm the end user. What will it cost me to buy? And then what will my monthly subscription? Sorry, I missed that.
So it will be about $40 for the device itself, one-time payment, and then 7 USD monthly subscription.
Which will cover
everything.
Everything, okay.
Yes.
Can you talk about the dispatching and all that stuff? Go back to that slide for a second.
Yes.
Is that network built here where you alert somebody and emergency services as well as the everything is dispatched right away? Because obviously you can send the signal, but also...
We're not sending a signal. We're doing it in person. Once again, because of reliability, our operator calls 112. Okay. And they give them the whole live location, like if the person is moving, they stay on the line. And personal information as well. We're going to have that data built where you can see where the person lives to make it easier for police to find them and so on. So we stress reliability. There's always someone, like an actual person, that will stay with you until the end of the process, until someone finds you and they know you're safe.
Do you have a sense of what the coverage is going to be? So, for example, for every 500 that I'm making it up, right? 500 selling, you need a operator. Like, do you have a sense of what that looks like?
Do you mean SIM coverage? As
no, for the operator, the support piece. I'm just curious. Okay, let's just say you sell 500 of these devices
in Georgia.
What does the coverage look like? Like, how many operators do you actually need? Is one enough to do that, or like just?
Yeah, we right now are thinking to have one operator per 100 users for the beginning. Obviously, in shifts, like 1 or 2. Because this is not a product you need every day.
Yeah,
and we don't want our users to have to need it, but in case they do,
that's too many.
Yeah, that's
far too many. I mean, you don't need one operator per 100 people. I mean, statistically.
Yeah.
No, what you need to have is 24-hour coverage, so you need at least one operator in shifts over 7 days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You certainly won't need one operator per 100 people.
But they're also sending an operator in person to the user.
No.
They call
in person, communicating in person. It's not AI or automatic.
I would build in the community piece. I don't think it's too complicated. So when you sign up, obviously you'll call the necessary. But if you had your 10 closest friends who would also be alerted, and it's super easy to do, then that would also, because they could be nearby, right? Often.
That's what we meant. So they also notify emergency contacts that you have listed, and there will also be an app. The app, you can add your friends and see where their location is at any times if they consent to it, obviously. And also we'll try to build a community. It's not going to be just device sales. We're building a system where we're going to have free self-defense classes, mental well-being classes, and so on for our users.
I would focus, I'd focus on the tech.
Yeah.
The other stuff's nice to have, but there's a lot of out of there. But if you get this right, scalable and cheap, and you get traction, it's something you will probably never use, but it give you a... Well, I mean...
In my case, I can't say that I had 3 break-ins in 1 year. But
hopefully you'll never use it, statistically, which is great, actually. But also, it'll give you peace of mind, which people are willing to pay for. Yeah. And I'd reach out to my friend. She's been doing this a little bit longer and probably hit a few hurdles, and I'm sure she's very interested in everyone being successful with this. So it's your competition, but you're not.
Yeah, of course. I would love that if you could put me in touch. Thank you.
Can you show us the form factor for a second? Would it be available in different accessories? Because some people wear, like you're wearing a necklace right now, and you might not necessarily take that off to wear this.
Basically, it will be a charm, just a charm. You can put it on your bracelet, on your necklace, on your belt, keychain, whatever you prefer. But we always advise for it to be either a necklace or a bracelet, something that you do not have to take it off.
So the SIM chip is not that small, right? Like,
is it like how big is it? How big is it?
It's going to be about the size of a coin, 2 or 3 coins stacked onto each other.
Like this, I guess.
Yeah,
like this.
and it's not ready yet. You haven't.
We have an engineering team on the standby. They're part of our team, and the plan is ready, but we need investment to start the.
And the COGS you said is $40 for building it.
No, $10.
Oh, $10.
$40 is
okay.
sale
So
price.
how much you charge people?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And what does the local market look like? How many people you think you can?
We've done our research in all Facebook groups, especially women-targeted groups. That's like over 300K people. And if you just go outside right now in the yard and there's probably 10 women and ask each one of them if they have ever needed this product, you'd be surprised, like really.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the local market is obviously the way to go here. I mean, there are a lot of devices exist in other markets.
Yeah.
In the US, there's a lot of stuff that exists for older population as well.
Yep.
True.
You know, so if you, I would have loved to see like if you had more certainty on the local market and how easy would it be to acquire X amount of customers. Obviously, it's a big problem. There needs to be a solution. Love the approach, but you know the local market is a big question here. Is how much traction you can get.
So there's about 18 cases per day in Georgia of attacks on women. And there's been too many stories in the last 2 years, like about murders. I'm sure Zaza at least have heard about them. Even tourists, not just Georgians. And this price is quite acceptable. We did research about that as well. Because health insurance is about starting at about 40 lari per month in Georgia. So we're trying to keep about half of it because it's also kind of life insurance at some point. So I think Georgian market is more than ready for that, especially for children.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.